Hey, welcome to Goddess of Many Faces. Today I would like to be talking about dream interpretation. I am talking about driving. And so I have this book here. The book is called Dreams and What They Mean to You. So this is how the book looks. It's probably going to be like the opposite side, but it is what it is. And so this is what it says about driving. It says that if the dreamer is doing the driving, he or she is in control of his/her life and should succeed in life. If someone else is driving, the dreamer is controlled by that individual. And then it references page 79 and 62. This page is 133 and it's under the chapter of dream interpretation. And so I honestly feel like that kind of makes sense because think about it. Like whenever you are in a car with somebody else and they're driving, right? Pretty much you're trusting their, ability to drive, whether they follow the rules of the streets, or not, because have you ever been in a car with somebody they just love to drive fast and they don't care, and versus someone who, when you get in a car with them, they always follow the rules they follow everything. They not gonna be on the speakerphone talking to nobody. They're not going to be holding the phone to their ear. They're not going to be texting. Have you ever been in a car with somebody who was texting? That's just the most nerve wracking, like, especially if you're on a highway. It's like, why are you texting and driving? Right? That doesn't make sense. Um, and even when they are professionals, like someone who is, you know, their career as a driver, that is kind of nerve wracking when people don't really follow the rules, right? But they have some level of control as to what's going to happen because at the end of the day, if someone's, if you're in a car with somebody who's driving and they have like a road rage type of thing where every little thing triggers them and they want to have a hostile type of driving where they trying to attack other people or causing unnecessary incidents, right? Because unfortunately that does happen. I'm sorry if I keep on looking down. Um, I gotta get used to looking straight, but yeah, it kind of does make sense, right? Because in the dream interpretation, it talks about if you're driving, then you're in control of your life. If you're not driving, then someone else in control of your life. Yes, that kind of makes a little sense because when you're driving, you know, you know if you're following the rules of the street, that you know what I'm saying, you more are in control in real life, right? Um, so that kind of does make sense. Um, but let's say if it kind of like still goes by your interpretation, I always think about because at the end of the day, like I wish I could. I don't have my tablet or nothing like that on my laptop. I wanted to get it, but I didn't get it because I don't know. It's like under something, and I don't feel like doing that or whatever, getting it. Because I was gonna go on to Google and see the dream interpretation because there's so many different websites that kind of like give their interpretations about what driving means. But regardless of whatever interpretation it is, it really goes on by how you feel, right? Because if you're dreaming about driving, then that means that when you wake up, you should have an immediate feeling in regards to that. And so I just feel like the feeling that you have should trump every interpretation that you may get because you could go like this book is a great book, right? But I have other dream books, um I don't think they kind of like dove into the dream interpretation. Well, yeah, some of them do dove into the dream interpretation, but I do have like books on my phone that if I go on my phone right now, I can't really, whatever. So, but I just feel like whatever you kind of feel like, let's say if you don't, you use your bike, you know what I'm saying? You use your scooter, you walk, and you don't like cars because when you was a little kid, you saw your father get hit by a car and die. And so therefore you never would get in a car or anything like that. And you just stay within your, you know what I'm saying, your local community, or you travel by means of walking or riding a bike or something like that. You know what I'm saying? That kind of trumps every interpretation that it has. You know what I'm saying? You may have a bad feeling about a car. So when you dream about a car, you may say to yourself, well, I don't like cars. I don't like um seeing people drive cars. It doesn't even have to be a car. Be like, oh, I don't like seeing people drive cars. I don't like being in a car where somebody's driving. That's the better thing I want to say. Like not really cars, period, but someone's driving. Like let's say if you drive in a car or either in a car while somebody's driving, and because when you was a little kid, your father got killed by a car, and you was driving, then you don't want to, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to even be behind the wheel or anything like that because it brings negative emotions to you, right? And because you have that negative type of feeling towards that, when you get that dream, you probably will see it in a negative way. So I have this little microphone, right? So you'll see it in a negative way. And so that's how when like, you know what I'm saying, if you see it in a negative way, then you having dreams about cars or people driving or even you driving may feel like, oh, this is something, this is a warning of something bad happening. I just feel like your interpretation or how you feel about a dream, like your personal thing, because sometimes we have to kind of like tap into what we think the dream mean for us. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, if you go to 10 different people, 10 different people is going to tell you what they feel about it, right? But I honestly think that I kind of like his interpretation because it kind of like when you relate it to real life, it's like, yeah, like if you're in a car with somebody, then you trust in their ability, their driving skills. You know what I'm saying? So I like this interpretation. But as far as driving, like driving dreams that I have ever had, like I remember when um probably many years ago, probably in my 20s, I used to have this reoccurring dream of either me driving on the highway or somebody driving me on the highway. And it was like so consistent. It's more in depth, but it's just, I feel like that dream was like kind of like low key a nightmare, but it was on a highway, always on a highway, driving or whatever like that, right? Consistently. And it was kind of like a scary dream. I don't really want to go in depth to it because it's just like it's really dark. Like I feel like I definitely want to take, I don't know, like let comment below if you guys want to continue to hear that story or dream, right? Because it is a story within the dream. Because that dream personally makes me feel very uncomfortable because it happened so much. And this was a time when I wasn't even really getting on the highway like that or at all. Like at this time when I was having these dreams, I would rarely be on the highway. You know, I had a metro car. You feel me? So I was taking the public transportation really everywhere. Like I get in a car if, to go to like a family event or if I'm hanging out with somebody. But that was it wasn't nothing like these reoccurring dreams. And with reoccurring dreams is like it's trying to provide you with a particular type of message. But I feel like I'm gonna go into that later. Um, I do have a dream group where we discuss our dreams, and I feel like with me really discussing and going into details, I really wanted to be in confidence with other people who are also sharing. So that's why I don't really want to go into it because I'm not really trying to cut off my comment section, but it's kind of dark, you know. And I feel like it's because it's different levels to dreams. Like you could just be dreaming, or you could be receiving a message, or it could be a premonition, um, and other things. But with me going into detail with that, um, it would have to be in that realm where I'm like in a safe place with other like minded people. But anyway, I thank you so much for listening. Um, if you like this, definitely like it or whatever. Comment below if you ever had have ever had a dream of driving or anything that you want to share. But thank you. Peace. I keep and another thing, I keep looking down. I need to look at the green light, but I keep looking down like what's that all about? I need to look at the green light because I'm looking like that's where the camera is, but I keep looking at myself. It's weird. Anyway, peace.